Welcome back, friends. This is Solomon Jagwe. I'm back with another exciting insight. So I've been, dabbling with this platform called HyperHuman, and here's a little robot that I was able to make with it. So this, what you see right here, was not modeled by a human being. Crazy to think the time we're living in right now, but this model that you're looking at was created using a prompt in the platform called HyperHuman. The textures were created by AI. The model was created by AI, and I used Character Creator 4 to rig this. I'm going to walk you through how I was able to get to this part. And what's really neat is let's go ahead and actually put a walk cycle on this guy. And let's see him walk. Okay. So look at that. This, instead of just as an image rendered with AI, and then that's from a prompt to an image to a 3D model, right? And you can even see like the foot contact. Let's see how the foot is bending nicely. So if you are looking for like a character, for like a background character for like maybe a Star Wars concept, sci-fi, you name it, could be something that you've come up with. But this is the amazing thing that you're now able to create using HyperHuman. Let me walk you through how I got to this point. So first, I went to hyperhuman.demos. Demos is DEEMOS.com. And up at the top right now, this is in public beta. As of the recording of this video, this is Gen 1. I think this is 0525. So hopefully in the future, you're using something much more advanced. And I signed up using my Gmail account. I didn't even have to set up a specific account. I just signed in using my Gmail account. And apparently, that's all you needed to do. But it's a free tier that I'm using right now. And you can see how many credits I have. And here you can buy more credits to get. It goes by 6, 12, and 24. And it looks like they have a membership, right, over here. So right now I'm using a free version, so which means that I have like only 6 credits left. So let's see what we can create, right? So you can do text over here, chat avatar, or you can do Rodin. I'm using Rodin, right? So I didn't even use an image. You could use an image if you've made one from like Midjourney, for example. But I wanted to see what you could create with a prompt. Simply text to 3D. That's essentially what this is. And they're saying that you're able to create high quality 3D assets. Having created this right here, now I know that I can get to this level. And from what I'm reading, it looks like when you subscribe, depending on which one tier you picked, that you'll be able to generate higher resolution characters. But let's have an idea. Okay. I want to, for example, maybe let's do the same prompt, similar to what I did. Okay. What I did was a robot, a sci-fi robot. And let's see, a sci-fi robot made for digging gold on Mars. Assuming that we're going to Mars. Maybe Elon Musk can help us with that. And in a T pose, because I want to be able to rig this character in either it's an A pose or a T pose. T pose is preferable. And he is cute and hard working. Now, the thing about this process right here is if I had an artist, a human artist that I'm talking with, I'll probably do a quick sketch, give him some idea of what I want them to do. But the moment you type a prompt, you're kind of like almost casting a reel out there to trying to catch a fish, but you don't know what kind of fish you're going to get, right? So I'm telling it's a sci-fi robot made for digging gold on Mars in a T pose. He's cute and hardworking. I have no idea what rodent this platform is going to produce, right? So I'm just going to roll the dice and see what happens. Now, if you're working with a human being, that would be totally different, because they're looking at you, or you're talking to them on WhatsApp or on the phone, and then giving them feedback as you go along. And so let's go ahead and click this check mark and wait for the system. So there, it gives you like an idea of what it's gonna look like, right? It's gold. So I suppose you could change the color, right? And over here, you can change it if you want. And then if you want, go back and redo that. Now this part right here doesn't cost you, like in terms of I guess units or credits over here. You just keep doing it. Now I'm really wanting a T-pose. That's what I'm trying to do. Now I love that one. Okay. So supposing that's what you like, and you like the way it looks right there, it's almost like a Lego piece. Just go ahead and click the check mark right here. And so this is the one that we want, right? And so go ahead and then click generate. Now, the problem with this though is that it's not exactly in a good T-pose or A-pose. So let me see if I can. I don't think I can. Now, once you've done that, it looks like you can't even go back. Let's try again. Okay. Let's assume this is what we were able to get. I'm going to see if I can actually get this to animate. But it's important, at least from what I've discovered, to have a T-pose. I should have actually copied and pasted that, but we'll try again. Sci-fi robot made. So you see what it did? It was made to dig gold, right? Oh, maybe I can copy that. Oh, there we go. And let's paste it over here. So maybe I want it to be rustic looking with maybe dents, made for digging gold on Mars. So see what the system doesn't do a good job of is that I said made for digging gold. It assumes that the whole thing is made of gold. It doesn't just think like as a human being, like it might not actually need to be golden, right? So let me copy this just in case we need it. And let's try again. And the good thing is this doesn't take very long. So it's in a T-pose. I think that is almost good enough. But sometimes you can't even get back. And that's the problem. You might see something you like. Now that one is close enough. And it has a mouth, which is neat. All right, so let's go. And so yeah, that looks okay. And let's go ahead and generate, right? Unlock matter used for, okay, so so what do? I just need one. Can I? Okay, I deleted that one. Looks like there's a little button right here with the text in there. You can't really see it, but it's a delete button. All right, so this is the one we've picked up. Go ahead and generate. So it looks like if you do multiple images, you need to subscribe. You need to pay for the platform to be able to have multiple generations. So here is the little robot that we have made. And you can see it's going to start off with just an untextured version of it, right? And that looks pretty cool because now I know if I'm rigging, it will have some deformation here. And you can also see different parts of it here, the normal map. And so this is before the texture is applied, right? And then over here, if you unlock this, you'll be able to edit, right, the texture itself. So after you're happy with this, you need to click on confirm, which is 1 credit. I think that's good because then you can go back and regenerate if you want, so that you're not locked in before this. So once you confirm, and here you can actually see the quality that you're able to get. And up at the top, you can also do symmetrical, you can do sharp edges and smooth edges as well, right? So this is important. As you're adding the details, it's important to be able to add those, especially if you're doing like mechanical, creatures like that. If you're doing like a humanoid, then maybe you want to use smooth edges. All right. now that I'm happy, next stage will be the material generation, but you need to confirm that this is what you want. And it looks like here you can add some more details, but for now, let me just click 1. Changes are not saved. Redo with current, yes, continue. All right, yes, and I want it to be symmetrical. And then it starts generating, okay? And I mean, I'm looking at this process right now, guys. I see why this is gonna, the way the trajectory of this is gonna go, because think about how quick this has been, like how fast I was able to generate this. And I'm looking at companies out there that are laying artists off. This is one of the reasons why, is that I think they look at how easy it is for them to generate models by themselves. Of course, an artist has way more. You can, like, for example, look at the hands, right? This is not what a human artist would create. Like, seriously. This is not what a human artist would create. They would have a sense of what the geometry needs to look like. And they'll probably have, better control over some of the direction as you give them feedback. But here I am really at the mercy of the system. Like, I should have maybe said 5 fingers. Okay. So assuming this is what you want and this is what you've ended up with, this is the texture that's gonna use, right? And when you're ready, include the reference. If you want like 100%, it's gonna look like that. And you can also add some details here. So for example, maybe add some glowing lights and some wear and tear, because it looks too perfect. If it's going to be mining gold on Mars, I'm imagining, of course, if it's just come out of the assembly line from the factory, it's going to look clean, but I wanted something rustic. Okay. And go ahead and generate. And this PBR, it's I guess how shiny or metallic the object is going to look. And so over here, you can do high poly because you need a subscription. So you are only limited to the base model. And this is a test I'm doing with just a free version. And I want it to be an FBX, but looks like you can do .glb, USD, and .stl and an OBJ. And you can unlock after material is confirmed. So go ahead and click. You can see how the credits are going down over here. But think about how fast this is going. It hasn't even been an hour yet, and we're close to having an object that we could potentially animate, right? And for me, as I was working with this, I was thinking, okay, this could actually be useful, especially if you're like doing like I guess EFN and you want characters in the background. This is the Unreal Engine. But look at that, right, guys? It has actually generated a 3D model with a little bit of wear and tear, and you can actually see it there, right? And look at the eyes with the big mouth, some antennas over there. The only, I think it's not the only issue I have, but the issue I have, of course, are the hands. We could have given it more direction. So you have to be very careful before you press continue. Make sure that you're happy with the direction. Okay. So now that we have this and we've confirmed, and so that is for, be careful, guys, because if you're not happy with it, each generation costs you a unit. So this is the confirmation over here. I made a mistake of clicking confirm over here. All right. But this is the 3D model that we have. And now we want to be able to animate this. And that's where iClone comes in and Character Creator 4. So go ahead and we don't have 4K. We have 1K PBR, FBX, and it's a base model. Go ahead and download. And once it's downloaded, I'll be able to then take the model itself and then put it into a folder. So that's done. And once it's done, it actually goes into your folder over here. So click OK. And over here, you can see your generations, right? And this is the one that I was able to do earlier on. Now, if you need some inspiration, you can always go, let's say, okay, go to the featured over here, and you find different things that people have created. So if you see a style that you like, you can use some of that guidance, like, something like this. If you click on that, it will pop up and it will give you an idea of what they did to create this. Okay. And it will generate like a 3D. So look at that. Okay. But this is what we have. We've downloaded the model. Now it's time for us to try to rig it. So I'm going to go down, look in my downloads folder. So I've taken the model from the downloads folder, and this is the name that it comes in as. So I'm going to right click and extract here. And so these are the different textures that were created by the platform. And this is 1024 by 1024. So if you have a membership, you'll be able to get much higher. Let's open this so you get a sense of what they look like, right? Okay. So now that we have this, I'm going to go ahead to character creator. I'm going to click on new project. Okay. And I'm going to drop this base FX into character creator. And I'm going to bring in as a prop. Okay. So this is very important, guys. When I do Control G, you can see like the pivot or the center of the image is right under, like right on smack in the center of the model, but it's also below the ground plane. Like you want the feet up at the top. So a quick fix for this is in Character Creator 4, scroll all the way down, click on this lower center. This is it's the quick set middle, like the pivot. Just click on the bottom part, right? And it has put it on the base. And then when you're done with that, go up to the top and do reset zero out, and it will put it right there on the ground plane. So if you feel like the character is not in the right place, you just have to, again, rotate. You can go to edit pivot and move the pivot up a little bit. Okay, click on edit pivots again, and then you can do reset zero out, and you see how it put everything back to zero, right? So if I want to fix the rotation, I'll go to the pivot, rotate it, and then rotate it a little bit like so. Click on edit pivot, go to reset zero out, and that will make the front feet, at least the toes, the front of the toes to touch the ground, right? And if you don't like that, you can always just adjust ever slightly. Okay, but you want the toes to be able to touch the ground because we're gonna do foot contact, the foot contact. Okay. All right. Now that we have the character set, we need to add the textures. So go to the texture over here, and you can right click here and rename this to robot. And up at the top, if you want to give your character a name, just change the name as well to robot, maybe 002. And also in here, you can see the name reflected. Okay. So now we can apply the textures. So click on the texture, and these are the different maps that we need. The normal map is going to come last. So we'll go to view, extra large, and then just expand this so we can see all of them. So we'll start with the diffuse, just drag and drop it. And you can actually see it's been applied. And let me see, let's go to large icons so we can see it being applied at the same time. All right, metallic, just drag and drop the metallic over there. We're gonna do the roughness. Okay, and then the normal map is the last one. And that one will require you to convert it to a normal map and click OK. And now you can see the definition. Now it looks low poly, and actually if we go to the scene over here and change this display to wireframe shaded, you can see the definition. And it actually does a good job of retopolizing the model and make it symmetrical, right? Now the cool thing is that here, and this is before even we rig, we can smooth the mesh, and then if you turn off this display to back to normal, you can see now you have a smooth robot. Let me do the Ctrl G, get rid of the grid so we can see it better. So there you have a high resolution character ready for rigging. So select the model again, and this is where the character creator shines. It is a new plugin called Accurig that is part of Character Creator 4, the most recent version. Accurig is also a standalone plugin that you can use, but they've built it into Character Creator 4 and it works really, really well, right? So the value of having put the character in a T pose or at least an A pose is that it's going to make it much easier for us to use Accurig. So press the F key to go to the front and then click on Accurig and click on Create Guides. So make sure force symmetry is added on, is checked on, click Create Guides, and let Character Creator Accurig do its job. You know, this part doesn't take very long either, and it's amazing because it's also using artificial intelligence. That's what Relation at least conveys, that they're using artificial intelligence to understand the structure of the geometry of any model that you put in there. So you can see the issue here. If you don't have a T pose, then it doesn't know which part is the arm, which part is not, right? But if you select on each one of them, it will give you an idea of where it needs to be. So we need to move this over here. And because symmetry is on and the mirror function is working, we are able to see what needs to go there. So this one needs to go to the elbow. So you move it to the elbow over here. And then this one needs to be the one, this is the shoulder right there, where the robot is going to be turning its arms. Maybe we do like right there. Okay. And then this one is the clavicle, which is again, that's about right. The head and the neck. So our neck needs to be maybe like right here. Okay. And the reason why this is so crucial is that when it's generating the skeleton and it's also applying the binding of the skin, it needs that information. Okay. So because our character does not have like fingers that are really properly correct, I'm not really wanting to give it fingers. So, but if you wanted fingers, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So we're going to do 0 fingers for now. Because of this lack of fingers, it will just go crazy, right? And then the ankle, so over here, go to the side view, we need to move this back because that's where the ankle is. Okay, so it looks like now we're ready to go back to the front view. So when you're ready, click on Generate Skeleton. And it does, like, it's incredible how fast this is. It has generated the skeleton and then bind the skin. And now it's calculating wherever those bones are and how to like make sure that all the vertices that are around it are assigned to that specific bone within the proximity of the bone. And this is the part that probably takes the longest for you to calculate. But even then, you can see that it has actually finished in a pretty short time, right? And you can see the alignment of the bones. So that gives you an idea of where the robot is going to bend, the arms are going to bend, and then the toes and all that. All right. Now that the binding of the skin is done, we can check the animation. And once check animation is done, you clicked on, go to motion, and then you can do walk. So now is the moment where you get to see what places need to be adjusted. So go ahead, press play, and there you go. So this went from being an image, right, on this platform over here to start off as a prompt, right, to becoming a 2D image that then was created into a 3D image that the system created a texture map for. And again, now because we're in Character Creator 4, we're able to see the model animated, rigged and animated. So you see how the toes are going through the ground here? That's where the foot contact comes in, right? So I'll go, let's rewind. Before you kick out of here, you're in this check animation mode. Be very careful. Do not click away because you lose all that time that you've put in. So click on check animation again and click out of Accurig so that the skeleton is applied, right? And so if you do foot contact, let's go back to select an animation of walking and let's play back. So now you see how the toes are bending right there because of the foot contact. But look at that, guys. So as you put in more time with the prompts, you'll be able to get characters that you can animate easily for background characters, robots, animals, I guess, humanoids, you name it. And the cool thing is that you can then send this to iClone, right? So right now, all I gotta do is select this character and click on the send to iClone. As long as icon is open, it's gonna play back, and there's the character. Isn't that amazing? So that's what I wanted to show you guys, that there's this platform called HyperHuman that enables you to create 3D geometry using prompts and even images, and you're able to create your own models that are textured. With a free account, you can try it out yourself and see, and then if you're happy with it, you can subscribe if you want. But the end result is that you're able to create something like this that is rigged using Accurig in Character Creator, and then you're able to send it to iClone over here. And when you're happy with it, you can then go to plugins, go to Unreal Live Link, and then put the range of the animation, include motion, bake animation to sequence, turn off the lights and cameras and props, and then send that to the Unreal Engine for you to render using Lumen and add more things in a sequencer and like that. And with the control rig, because this is rigged using Accurig, you'll be able to apply the control rig as well. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really wanted to show you how amazing this platform can be and the potential it has. I mean, it still has challenges because you have to be really specific when it comes to certain body parts, right? And then even inside, there's some issues, like I see up how it was trying to apply. You know how challenging it is to unwrap UVs, but it looks like it does this automatically, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you, is that you can use HyperHuman to create low poly characters that you can use in your game in the Unreal Engine for Fortnite. So to create a content for a Fortnite level, you know, like characters that are maybe in the background, maybe the ones that you can interact with and add a dialogue to. But that's how amazing this is. And for you to be able to add animation, I think is the icing on the cake, right? And this was a quick, I didn't even take like 2-3 hours. This was done in less than an hour, and we're able to get something like that. So the more time that you put in, then revising the prompts and maybe subscribing to get better, 4K textures, you'll be able to get a much better, result. And what is really cool is that once you have this character, you can then save the character. Let's rewind this and save. And you're going to make it into a like robot, give it a name, robot 02 as a character. Click OK. And now you can go to the, let's see, where did I put it? I think it's in robot. No, HyperHuman. Yeah. So there it is. And you can also capture a new thumbnail, like just frame it, right click on it, capture thumbnail, and there you have it. And so the cool thing about iClone is that anything that is rigged inside of Character Creator 4, it has the same skeletal structure. So for example, I can just double click on this, it will automatically take the same animation and you're able to create that walking cycle like that. And if you want, you can just again rewind, double click on this new character, swap out, and you have the same animation. That is really cool. So guys, I highly recommend for you to give it a try and try out iClone and also Character Creator 4. And if you really like it, I mean, feel free to purchase it. I put links in the description of this video, so feel free to click on some of those links to go ahead and give it a try. So thank you so much for joining me again. This is the one I started with, the one that I was able to animate. And you can see the quality that you can get when you put more effort into it and refine the prompt. So thank you for joining me today, guys. As always, dare to dream big, never give up on your dream. And we continue to look at these technologies and see how we can use them to create content that we can use to tell our stories, right? I mean, this is time saving. Of course, there's always the concern of ethical AI. It looks like it's a 3D model. So now I don't know what the data set is from. You know, like every time I do some generation, sometimes, of course, you can see instances of where it looks like it's looking at some content out there that someone else had modeled. But so it's interesting. It will be interesting to know what the source of this data set is. But you can see some of the content that you can create, you know. And the thing is, right now, these are public. You can actually download them, right? But every time you download, you lose a unit. So just be careful about that, right? And I think when you have an account, then those are private generations. These are downloads that you can download freely because they are made available and it's in beta. So whatever you generate, just be aware that somebody else is going to be able to download it because it's a public beta. But once you have an account, then you'll be able to generate things that are yours that people won't be able to use. Okay? So thank you guys again. Please stay blessed. Much love to each and every one of you. I continue to pray for you. Bye for now.